Hello all. I hope you all are doing very well. I'm Reena Mishra from SJEC. Welcome you all here in our e-learning classes. It is rightly said by anyone, hope is a kind of oxygen for all of us. As when one gets exhausted from his daily routine, from his daily life, one wants a kind of relaxation, a kind of peace. One wants to be there where he can find all the peace, all the relaxation. When we get exhausted from our daily routine and hectic schedules, we long for a place where we can feel peace and make ourselves relaxed. And of course, everyone obsessed getting there, isn't it? Yes, definitely it is. And that is the only reason why people immigrated for a solitary places whenever they get time. As we all want to get away from all our anxieties and worries. So does the composer of our today's poem tells all about. Watch us. The Lake Isle of Innisfree. The Lake Isle of Innisfree. Let me repeat the title again. Let me give you some detail about the composer of the poem. This poem is composed by W.B. Yeats. William Butler Yeats. Actually, he was an Irish poet and one of the foremost figures of 20th century literature. He was born on 13th June 1865 and died on 28th January 1939. Some of his important stories are The Second Coming, Easter 1916, and the poem that you are reading right now, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. The word that poet used, Innisfree. I'm sure you all want to know what is Innisfree. Actually, Innisfree is a place near the coast of Ireland. And it is really a very, very quiet place. Let's start the poem. And let me start the poem with some little introduction of the poem. This poem is a lyric, a song format, a kind of a song format. This poem is a lyric and it explores the poet's longings for tranquility and peace. Basically, Innisfree is a place where he spent a lot of time as a boy, and it is very, very quiet place, and this is the only reason why the poet wants to go there. Since he had spent his childhood there, so he had very sweet memories of this place. That's why he wanted to go back to his childhood place. As I told you earlier that everyone obsessed getting these kinds of places. Why? Because everyone wants to get rid of his all the worries, all the tensions, all the routine life that he is leading with. This poem shows us all the same. The theme of the poem is the memory of the childhood, the exhaustion, the need of peace that the people of nowadays are looking for. This poem is all about the poet's longing for the peace. Why? Because he was totally exhausted from his routine life. He was totally exhausted from his busy and hectic schedules. He doesn't want to live anymore this way. He wants to go back to his childhood and wants to continue his life as a boy, as a child. And really it happens whenever one gets tired from his daily routine life, one wants to go back to his childhood. Because childhood is our age where there is no place of worries, there is no place of tension, only enjoy a carefree life. This poem shows the termination of the poet from all the worldly anxieties and his utmost desire for the peace. Let's read the lines out. My suggestion is let's read out only one stanza at one time and to try to get the meaning. If we read one stanza at one time, then we can get the meaning of the stanza clearly. Fine. So, let me recite the poem, the first stanza of the poem actually. The poet says, I will arise and go now and go to innisfree. The poet says, I will definitely arise and go to innisfree. I told you innisfree is a place near the coast of Ireland. So, and it is a very quiet place where the poet had spent his childhood. So he wants to go back to his childhood. He wants to go back to innisfree to spend the days again. So he said, what did he say? He said, I will arise. He said that he will arise and he will definitely want to go to the place named innisfree. He says, and a small cabin built there of the clay and wattles make. Before moving towards the second line, let me tell you the importance of the first line. Even in the first line, the writer shows his intentions. The writer gives some hints of his intentions, what he wants to do. In the first line, he says that he wants to get up and he wants to go to the island of innisfree. And going there, in the second line, he shows us what extra he wants to do there. He says that, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. He says that he wants to build a small house with mud and sticks. Wattles means some sticks woven together in the form of fence. So he says when he will go to innisfree, he would build a small house with mud and some sticks woven for fence. Here the word is small. I have underlined that word. See, small. Here the word small is very, very necessary. Why? Because the word is small shows that the writer wants to enjoy his solitary place. He wants to enjoy his peace alone. He wants to live alone. He wants to enjoy his surroundings alone there. Then he says, 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. 9 bean rows will I have there. He says that when he will go to innisfree, he will build a small house with mud and sticks, and then he dreamt of having 9 bean rows and a hive for honeybees, and he wants to live the open space, the open area of the forest with the buzzing of bees, with the buzzing sounds of honeybees. He says that he wants to go to innisfree and he wants to go to innisfree and build a small house there. And this house will be built with clay and woven sticks. And he also dreamt of having 9 bean rows with a hive for honeybees, and he says that he will live alone in bee loud glade. Glade means a open space, a open area. He says that he will live in the open area of the forest with the sound of honey bees. Listen, the first stanza is very, very important. It shows the desire, the longing of the poet, actually what he wants. The first line shows the termination of the poet from all the worldly anxieties, all the worldly worries. He wants to retire himself for innisfree, where he had spent his childhood. He wants to enjoy his childhood again, where he was leading a carefree life, where he was leading a life with a lot of fun with his friends. Now, let's see what are the interesting poetic devices used here. I will arise and go now and go to innisfree. Look at the first line. Read it clearly. I will arise and go now and go to innisfree. I will arise and go now and go in. And go now and go in. Let me repeat again. I will arise and go now and go in and go to. Go now and go to. Listen, we have go 2 times. We have the word go 2 times. Means we have repetition of the same word. Repetition is a figure of speech. Repetition is a poetic device which emphasizes the inclination or the intentions of a person. That's why the poet uses go here twice. And the using of go word for 2 times adds glory of the line or the sentence and adds a poetic device here called repetition. In this stanza, we come to know about some new words. New word means innisfree. Innisfree is a new word for us. Of course, I tell you about that. Innisfree is a place near the coast of Ireland, and it is a very, very quiet place, and it is a real place. It's a real place. I told you, small is a word that shows the desire, the longing of the composer. Here, composer wants to enjoy his all life alone in that small cabin. Clay and Wettle's phrase आया है, and this phrase tells us that clay, mud, Wettles, sticks woven together. These words says that he wants to build a small house with mud and with the sticks, means with his dreams, with his desires, with his intentions. He wants to adorn his house with his dreams. Now let's start with the second stanza. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes drooping slow. And I shall have some peace there, and peace comes drooping slow. I have underlined peace here in the second stanza of the first line. And I shall have some peace and peace twice. I underlined it. And we again have repetition, poetic device, repetition here. Why? Because the poet used peace 2 times. That's why we have repetition here. And the poet says, and I shall have some peace there, for peace comes drooping slow. He says that when he will go to innisfree, he will have peace there. And the peace doesn't come automatically. Peace is a thing that comes slowly and gradually. Drooping means a thing that comes slowly and gradually. That's why the composer says that he will go there, and when he will reach there, he will have some peace slowly and gradually. That will come to him slowly and gradually. Now in the second line of this stanza, dropping from the wheels of the morning to where the cricket sings. He says, and that peace, dropping from the wheels of the morning, and that peace comes to him from the curtain of the first ray of the sun. He says that this peace comes to him with the first ray of the sun. Wheel is a kind of a curtain, and he says that peace is a thing that does not come automatically. It usually comes slowly and gradually. He says when he will feel peace, and this peace will not come to him automatically. This peace will come to him through the wheel of the morning, through the sun rays. And when he will get that peace, then all the darkness that was surrounded with the sounds, with the weird sounds of the cricket, would go away. Cricket is a kind of insect of grasshopper family that usually makes weird sound, especially at the night. So he says he wants that peace that usually comes to him through the wheels of the first ray of the sun. And whenever he will get that peace, the night and the sound of the cricket will get over soon. Their midnights all are glimmer. He says that I want to go there. I want to go there where I can get the peace, where the peace will come with the first ray of the sun, where the all darkness will get over, where all the weird sounds of the cricket will get over. And he says that he wants to go back to the place where their midnights all are glimmer, where the midnight will be shiny, will be full of stars, where the sky will be full of stars in the midnight. He wants a kind of midnight where the sky is filled with stars, glimmering stars, and on a purple glow. And he wants a kind of noon that has a kind of purple glow in it. It would not be a sunny day, of course. It would have some purple glow in it, where he wants that midnight and this kind of noon. And he also wants evening that will be full of linnet's wing. Linnet is a kind of bird. It is very, very similar to sparrow, but it is a kind of a bird. Not a sparrow, but it is a kind of a bird. He says, and evening full of linnet's wings. And he wants a evening that is filled with the sounds of the linnet bird, where he can play carefree with his friends, where he could not relate himself with all the worries. That's why he wants this kind of midnight, this kind of noon, and of course this kind of evening. Now, coming towards the last para, and it's very interesting para. Look at the third para, third and the last. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. Now his firm faith, now we can see the firm desire, the firm longing of him. He desperately needs that place. He says, I will arise and go now. He says that he will definitely arise and go now. And he will definitely go there. For always night and day. Why? For all the night and all the day he wants to go there. He wants to be there for all the night, all the day. He says that he will arise and go now for the night and for the day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. He says that in spite of being very far from innisfree, he could still hear the sounds, the striking sounds of the water that is pushed by the pebbles and stones. He could clearly hear the melodious sound of the water, the striking water, in spite of being very, very far away from that island innisfree. He wants to be there and wants to literally feel the sound of the water, wants to touch the water. He wants to have the feeling of the surrounding of the innisfree that could make him soothed and relaxed. He further says, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement gray, I hear it in the deep heart's core. He was really very, very desperate. Now his eagerness is clearly visible in these two lines, in the last two lines. Look at the last two lines. While I stand on the roadway, he says ki either he is on the roadway or on the pavement. Either he is on the roadway or on the pavement. He could clearly hear the sounds of linnet, the sounds of cricket, the sounds of lapping water, everything with his heart, with the deep inside of his heart. He could all the thing realize, and he wants to realize the thing. He wants to have this kind of feeling so that he could get a kind of peace that he really needs for. I hope you will enjoy the video. Happy learning to you all. God bless you.